everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Faith. Thank you so much for being here. Today I am going to be reviewing and demoing an entire brush set from Iconic London. A ton of Instagrammers use their illuminating drops both for highlight and all over the face, so you may have seen them there. I've talked a lot about how important it is to have good brushes on my channel. I have a very old video, maybe about 7-8 months ago, where I talked about some of my favorite affordable brushes. So you can go check that out. I do still use a bunch of those brushes, but today I wanted to actually talk about a set, a full set, kind of like a kit that you could buy and then basically just be done with thinking about buying brushes. Iconic London did send me this brush set, but I am going to share with you my honest opinions. I did just want to disclose that because that is the right thing to do. The brush set from Iconic London that I am going to be reviewing is the Blogger's Choice brush set. It comes in a really nice case like this, and 12 brushes are included, including face brushes and eyeshadow brushes, which I love in a brush set. This brush set costs just over $100. It's like $101. And so with 12 brushes included, that is just under $10 a brush. They're definitely more expensive than like Real Techniques brushes, but they're also definitely not as expensive as some really high-end brushes. I know Tarte has some pretty expensive brushes, so these are kind of in the mid-range and maybe like a little bit on the more affordable range. I do realize $100 is a lot, but you are getting oh, hi, Kip. Kip, quiet! I do realize that $100 is a lot, but you are getting 12 brushes, and I'm pretty sure there's some discount codes available. I will try to find some and link them down below if I can find it. The great thing about these brushes too is that they are vegan and 100% cruelty-free. So if that is important to you, that is really awesome. So now let's just get into the video where I show you each individual brush and talk about if I like them or not. So these are what the brushes look like. The one I am holding here is the angled contour brush. I didn't use this one today because the set comes with a different contour brush as well, and I ended up using that one, but I wanted to show you what these look like clean, since most of mine I literally just used and they're a little bit dirty. So the bristles are like white at the ends. This part is rose gold, and then the handle is like a soft touch white. So again, this is the angled contour brush. You're supposed to kind of use it right in here for contour, but like I said, I will get to the contour brush that I actually ended up using. Let's just go in order of how I used these brushes. So the first brush I used is this one right here, and this is the foundation buffer. This is like a flat top kabuki. This is like a flat top kabuki brush, and I love using brushes like this when I use a stick foundation. So that is what I did today. I will list all of the makeup products that I used in case you're wondering as you're kind of seeing me put on the makeup. I will put all of those down below. But yeah, I really liked this brush. It blended my foundation great, so that was all good in my book. The next brush I used is this one right here. This is the Fluffy Tapered brush, and this is the perfect brush to get right under your eye here and set down your concealer with a powder. So because it's tapered in like this, it fits right in there super nicely, and you can just pat right here. You could even use this to set your entire face, but it's a little small, and there's a bigger powder brush that comes in this set, which I'll talk about next. The next brush I used was this brush right here. This is a large powder brush. So I used this to set my face with my BareMinerals powder, and I really liked this. It's kind of, if you can see here, domed, kind of tapered, which is nice because then you can kind of pinpoint where you want your powder. All in all, this brush was also very good, and these are not loose here. Sometimes on cheaper brushes, what is this called? This metal thing has a name and I can't think of it, but they're not loose and really nice. Okay, the next brush I used is maybe my favorite. It is this brush right here, and this is the contour buffer. So I used this to contour right here, and these are my favorite types of brushes for contour because you can get such a defined line right here and then blend out. I really, really liked this. It gives you a nice sharp contour, and I really think this is an awesome brush to have in any kit. The next brush I used is this one here, which is the Angled Blush Brush. I actually used this for both bronzer and blush because there's not really a bronzer brush in this kit, which I did find a little disappointing. I hoped that there would be a bronzer brush. You could definitely use your powder brush as a bronzer brush as well, but then you would just have to make sure to clean it if you are going to then use powder all over the face your next time using the brush, because you don't want to just put bronzer all over your face. You kind of want to pinpoint it. This would actually be a really nice brush for bronzer, but I needed a powder brush for my entire face. I actually really liked how this applied my bronzer, and then I also went in and applied my blush with this. It's really not as big of a deal if those two mix because you're gonna really blend them anyways. So I started with bronzer here and then went in with my blush and went right here, and I didn't really mind if any bronzer kind of mixed with my blush here. I think it actually creates a really natural, nice look, but I did want to mention I kind of wish that there was a bronzer brush included. However, I really did like this brush, especially how it applied my blush, which is what it's actually supposed to do. I thought it fit right on the apple of the cheek really, really nicely. I used this pencil brush here, which is actually for eyeshadow, I think, but I used this for contour, and I really, really like how it applied my nose contour because it's kind of tapered here and it's really small, so it fit right here perfectly, and I could kind of go right up in here. You definitely could use this as well to kind of smoke out the lower lash line. Then to start off my eyeshadow, I used this brush here, which is the tapered blending brush, and I love this brush. This fits so perfectly right in my crease, and it blended everything out so nicely. I really, really enjoyed using this. I used it for a few different colors in the palette I was using, and it just made everything blend so seamlessly. It's super, super soft, which I loved. I also used this underneath the eyes here too, and it did a really, really good job of blending. The next brush I used is this one here, and this is called the Eye Shader. This picked up the shimmer shade in the palette that I was using so nicely. It's really, really compact, yet it's still soft, and because it's synthetic, it really packed a punch. I had never seen this shade here go on so intensely without any setting spray or anything like that, so I was really, really impressed with this. The next brush I used is this one here, which is actually a very small eyeliner brush, but I used this to pinpoint my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight because I like the highlight on my eyes to be pretty like small and really precise, so a brush like this is really nice for that. You could also use this for eyeliner as well, like it's meant to be used for, but there's a different eyeliner brush that I actually preferred to use for the eyeliner part. And this is called the Small Angle Brush, and I used this to take black shadow and just line my lash line. You could also use this for your brows. It's very, very slim, very compact, and I liked using this a lot. When I put the black shadow down on my lash line, it went on extremely thin and very smooth, not choppy, so I really enjoyed using this. The last brush I used is this huge fan brush, and I used this to apply my highlight, and let me say, I have not really enjoyed using fan brushes for highlight, but I think it's just because I didn't have a good fan brush. This is so nice. It's a very, very thick fan brush, and I was kind of afraid it would apply the highlight almost like too big, but it really fit right here on my cheek, and I could do it very lightly. So it was so nice. I really, really like how the highlight turned out. I think it dispersed it nicely, but also kept it very compact and precise right here on the upper part of my cheekbone. It also applied my nose highlight like super intense, and I'm really digging it. So I really enjoyed this brush. So let me give you my final thoughts. All in all, I think that this set is really nice, especially if you're just starting out and kind of need everything and don't know where to start. This set would give you almost everything you need. Again, I do wish that there was like a designated bronzer brush. You can get creative and use the blush brush or the big powder brush for that step, but I do wish that there was like a designated bronzer brush in this kit. My favorite brushes were definitely the eyeshadow brushes and the fan brush. I also really liked the blush brush and this contour brush. So all in all, I really like this, and I also love the packaging and this little case that they come in. I think it's great for travel. It's really sleek. I love the gold and nude and white theme. I think it's really pretty. I of course will link the set down below in case you want to check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a little bit more about brushes in general and what you can use them for. Sometimes I know it can be pretty overwhelming to just look at a ton of brushes and have no idea how to use them, so maybe this was a little bit informative in terms of that. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!